All right, we're back here with you. It's live, and it's time for the Jesse T Show. Good to have you along with me, my friends. It's good to be with you, back on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world. I feel great. I feel great. Well, wait a minute. That's like James Brown. I feel good. Now, thank you very much, Lee. I have to have somebody correct me. I feel good, like sugar and spice, right? Something like that, right? Okay, yes. Anyway, the 405 freeway was moving good today. Summertime here in Southern California, and I love the summers. You can see the snow on the mountains, for those of you who aren't in Southern California, and you can see the beautiful, beautiful beach babes at the beaches in Southern California as you're looking at the dolphins. Oh, my goodness, what a lifestyle. Movie stars in between, fast cars and swimming pools. It is the place we call paradise. The only problem, though, is there's too many people. Cut them up a half, and it will be okay. Yeah, I like that. Hey, it's good to have you with us. We have a good show lined up for you today. You know, Wednesdays we bring in terrific people from the motion picture business, the entertainment business. Sometimes we have some politicians or some VIP celebrities in here, but we've got a special guest today. He joins us again for the second time that he's been here. It's been about a year or so. He's been on the road doing accomplishing a lot of things on both coasts. And I want to take a moment here and just let you know that this gentleman, I'm about to say his name, I really love this guy, and I love why he does things. He does things that have a cause to them and that have some significance. His films have significance. And there's a film that is being massively distributed now, and it's called American Warfighter. And it's a great film. It is really a great film. I've seen it, and the thing about it, it has got an extra special message, a terrific message about our veterans, our men and women who have been serving, not only in the recent combatants that we've had, but also going back as far as World War II, because they all suffer. So many of them suffer from PTSD. Some used to call it shell shock. Some used to call it battle fatigue. Whatever they called it, and whatever it is, it's called PTSD today. And this man has just written a terrific film about it. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring on Jerry G. Angelo, baby, the director and the writer and the star of American Warfighter. Oh, yeah, Jerry! 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 Jerry. Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for joining us, pal.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Last time you were in here, you had a full beard. It was sort of like you were just coming off the film that you were shooting. That's because American Warfighter, you had the full beard in there and the long hair.
Yes.
And but now you look completely different, man. You look great.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Right on.
Yeah, I do, man. You gonna go buy me some chicken tonight? I'll really like it then.
We'll go to Roscoe's, actually.
Roscoe's and waffles and chicken.
Yes.
That's right. Waffles and everything. Hot waffles and buttocks. Well, maybe not waffles and buttocks. Of course, I've seen some buttocks that look like waffles. Yes, I'm getting myself in trouble again. But what's new, right? So tell me, man, you're looking fit. You're working out. What are you doing, man? He's looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger now. Well,
I enjoy boxing. Do you like boxing?
I love boxing. I boxed for 10 years.
Yeah, so that's just as we get younger in age, going up, it's you try to stay mobile and all that. So boxing's great because it's cardio and you get to do weights and all that stuff too. So.
Right. Yeah, and hitting the heavy bag releases a lot of stress.
Oh, isn't it nice? Well, I would like to just know that in case there's ever an opportunity that you need to take care of someone or help somebody, that you're physically fit, at least for myself, that I'm able to do that.
Especially today, because it seems like violence is running rampant around America and the world. It just comes out of nowhere. You just don't expect things to happen, and they happen now more than ever.
Yeah.
So it's good to have some sort of ability to get yourself out of a jackpot, because if you don't got anything, then you're then you kind of, what do you do next? Whimper, cry, and whine, and please don't hurt me, and call 911. And by the time they arrive, the gig's done, whatever it is. Well, so why boxing, though? Why not martial arts? Why not BJJ? Why not wrestling? Why not
MMA
judo?
And all that
stuff? Why boxing?
You know what? Just my father taught me boxing, and that's what I knew. That was kind of before the MMA became popular.
Right.
And so, and I enjoy all sorts of sports, whether it's tennis or golf or horseback riding. I like everything.
Yeah.
And boxing is just something that just goes well with me. I haven't had a knee injury at one point from football. When I did Division I football, I hurt my knee, and so boxing's good. You're stand up, you get your lungs going, and you get to hit a bag, and you get to do speed bags and just do cardio. And you've got any fights coming up? Are you going in that direction with boxing, or is it mostly just personal, staying in shape and sparring in the ring? No, I think my record is undefeated, and I'm going to keep it like that. And
wait a minute, is that like undefeated because you haven't been in the ring yet?
No, I've been in the ring.
Right?
Yeah. I've knocked out all my opponents, and
all right, man.
Actually, prior to that, I never started any fights or anything like that. But just growing up in high school and college and all that. Right. Being a kid. Kind of raising yourself on the streets, kind of. You get into scuffles and sports. There's a lot of alpha males and aggression and stuff, and so those things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about some of the boxing record. I mean, was this more when you were a kid when you were boxing in the ring, or have you been doing that as an adult?
Oh, no, as an adult.
Right.
My last fight, it's probably about 6 years ago.
Right.
About 6 or 7 years ago, and my boxing coach Austin Killeen, who's from New Mexico, he was coaching me at the time, and he's a great friend. There's a fun story there. I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but
go ahead.
But anyway, so we're at an LA boxing competition, and the gentleman I was fighting was we're heavyweights because once you're above like 200 pounds, you're heavyweight. So he was bigger than me, but more built and stuff. And I'm not small.
Well, you're a big guy, man.
I'm not a small guy.
What are you popping, about 220?
Yeah, I'm just around 225.
Yeah, easily.
And so he, just knocked him out twice in the first round, and that was it. I remember Austin was all, he's right before the bell was about to ring. We're in our corners. Yeah. And he's like, hunting season. And then ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Go.
Yeah, that's it. People don't realize how fast that happens in the ring or in any altercation. How fast it happens when you guys meet one-on-one. The throws happen, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's over with real quick. You have to have some defenses. You have to learn your defenses before you learn your offenses, so you can defend yourself first and then be able to rifle back something. But boxing is a great sport. I think that every young man and women too,
absolutely,
the first thing that they should learn as a combative sport would be boxing, striking. It's the most important thing.
I think the best attribute to have, just in general, the first thing I'd say is stamina. Yeah. Because if you don't have the stamina, you don't have the wind,
you get gassed.
You can't defend yourself, and you have no offense either.
Yeah. I always used to make the joke to people. I said, "Look, man, I'll just let you gas yourself out. We'll run around the ring a little bit here for a moment or two, and you'll be sucking wind, and then I take care of my business." Right?
Yeah.
That's absolutely, because most people aren't in shape to do anything. They might be able to walk up one flight of stairs, but they're out of breath.
Well, this is a good moment to take the encouragement for everyone that's listening. If you don't have any extracurricular activities in your life, or that you want to stay healthy, that you can even start just walking around the block each morning before you get ready for the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important.
Yeah, and once again, I think boxing is a key, because everything is in striking. You have to strike. You have to be able to strike your opponent. And like Taekwondo is basically all high kick and kicking and a lot of lower body action. And you got to be young for that. Yeah. I mean, you have to be like a gymnast for that.
Have you heard of Rex Kwando?
No, what's that?
Oh, it's just another form of
of
martial arts.
Really? Yeah. Rex Kwando?
Yeah.
what is Rex Kwon Do? Now, there's a joke in here somewhere.
It's a private joke for someone very special that's watching. So
okay.
Yeah.
Rex Kwon Do. I wonder if that's anything like Flex Kwon Do.
I
don't know.
Yeah, there's another thing that were going on too.
Yeah, I partook in some Flex Kwon Do. Yeah. Don't know how I got in those places, but I got there. Oh, Lord help me. The Jesse T Show here, having fun with Jerry G. Angelo, man. He's got a great film out. It's getting more and more distribution now across the country. Talking a little bit about his boxing career, and you're in great shape. Are you going to take that any further, or is it more for you now to keep in shape? Do you see yourself getting back in the ring?
Oh, no, it's just for, I would like to teach, coach, some younger folks and stuff like that.
Well, I've seen your videos, man. You're doing real well in that heavy bag. Did you see that Tyson video at 52 years old when he was behind the bar? He's shooting, he's making a lot of films in China right now. Mm-hmm. He's a very favored actor in China right now. And he's making a lot of kung fu movies.
He goes against someone that's doing martial arts?
Yeah.
Like the IP Man or something like that?
Hitman. But this was just recently. He was just on a movie set in China, and, kung fu set, and they were talking amongst each other and showing their different skills. And Mike Tyson at 53 years old, my goodness, that's one guy you don't even want to see, even at 52 or 62 when he gets there.
Yeah.
Man, he threw a left hook, a right uppercut, a left uppercut, 2 jabs, bobbed out, and stuck with the left jab in like. You have to slow it down 100% to see all the punches
and the velocity.
Yeah. It's just so fast.
Well, here's a question for you: where were you when he lost to Buster Douglas?
Well, I was at home watching the fight. Yeah. I didn't think he would lose to Buster Douglas.
No.
But Buster wanted it.
Yeah.
I mean, and Mike came in out of shape. That's the big thing.
I don't know. You can say it was out of shape, but if you go back and watch it again, I mean, for both of them to last through all the hits and the atrocities back and forth, someone out of shape would not be able to survive.
Well, I mean, when I mean out of shape, I don't mean out of shape the way common people are out of shape. Right. I mean out of shape from where he was at his level.
Yeah, well,
because he even says that he didn't train as hard for that fight because he took Buster Douglas for granted because he was just a journeyman fighter. He was just way down in the rankings, and it was a payday that Mike was just getting to box at the Dome in Tokyo, with Don King. That's really what it was. It was a payday. And but for Buster Douglas, it was life and death, and he was in great shape. He's never been in that kind of shape ever again in his life, and he did well. But everybody has their. So now, how did you get to?
So it's very dear to my heart.
Now, you wrote this film.
I did, yes.
Yes. How long did it take to put this film together in the writing aspect?
Writing. The writing came pretty natural once I actually got started to putting the story together. I would say all in all, it was probably maybe like a 5 or 6 week process of getting the first draft together.
The characters that you designed in the first draft, does that most of those characters end up in the finalized draft, or was there a lot of different adjustments that you made for the characters?
You know what, I didn't know what the original story is going to be. I knew what the emotions and I knew that the story I wanted to tell, I just didn't know how it was going to be told.
Right.
And I didn't know what characters were there. And the opening of the movie, we went to go shoot first, and it came out so phenomenal. And in that process, after that, and I sat back, I realized that, I wanted to create a story in the direction of having 2 best friends that were also, they also served together on the same team. And so I decided to write the story about the friendship there.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is because in that party scene where you guys the families are together,
yes,
and all the guys are partying right there. I'm not going to give too much of the film away, but that scene before the infamous call comes in, and you guys are just hanging out in someone's backyard. Each character is so different than the other ones. They're all so different, but yet you get a sense that they're all so much like a family. The fellas, you know, they're just so different, but they're very connected to each other. And it was a very easy scene to watch. And some scenes like that are hard to watch because, you know, you don't believe it. But with these guys and your actors and, you know, the characters themselves, you really believe that they're about what they say they're about. And that's a fascinating piece of writing to be able to do that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. We did,
because that sets the tone.
Yes.
For the rest of the movie.
Sure. Well,
that one scene, I believe.
In the process of writing the story, I did, you know, I spoke with a lot of veterans and active duty military personnel of every age, you know, from Vietnam, you know, through all the different wars and conflicts and times of not conflict as well, which is just as important,
right?
Till today. And what doesn't change is the human condition and emotions, and we all have, you know, the rainbow of colors of happy, sad, you know, and all the different levels from that.
Well, that's interesting. So you got a chance to talk to guys from Vietnam,
yes,
Korea. Mm-hmm. Did you get a chance to talk to any guys from WW2, World War II? Older fellas, like 90-year-old guys or 85?
No, not directly, but I was able to. I mean, you know, like Clint Eastwood and Mel Gibson. They've done so many. They've done their movies, and in the process of their stories, their real life stories, which mine is not a real life story, but theirs are. I was able to go onto YouTube and watch documentaries.
When they do of the real guy.
Exactly. I mean, just like, you know, if, for instance, like Peter Jackson has his movie, They Shall Not Grow Old.
Yeah.
And he's doing this story about World War I, and he colorizes it. And it's just phenomenal.
Isn't that great?
It's phenomenal.
It is fantastic.
I would encourage anyone to have an opportunity
to see a colorized.
World War I is never, you know, that time period is lost. It's only black and white, and when it becomes the way they master the colors is phenomenal. And it's like you're getting to sneak peek into a time that and get to see something that no one has ever seen. So
yeah, I mean, the world has color to it, you know, and it had color then too, and you lose that in the black and white. The black and white kind of puts distance between you and feeling, but the color, when the color comes out, it sucks you in.
Yeah.
Because these are the colors we see, the green jackets, and we see the brown dirt, and we see the guys who are, you know, shot up and stuff like that.
With the black and white, it's easy to just put a stamp on it and just braze over it.
Right.
You know, when it comes into color, it's real life. It becomes very real.
Yeah. So in your research, in writing this film, because this film is about PTSD, it has a big portion of it is about how these fellows handle the situation when they come back and how they're handling it through their involvement in the film and the story. But in your research, did you find it to be the same for guys that served in Vietnam and Korea and the guys that served in the most recent battles in Afghanistan and Iraq? And did they all have the same story that they were telling you?
Yeah, I mean, no one's stories are exactly the same. But they have the same situations. Mm-hmm. And so, they're, you know, you can talk to 10, you know, different individuals that have, you know, that suffer from war trauma or PTSD, and they'll have, you know, 10 different ways that they have to deal with it and how their struggles. And it doesn't just affect them, it affects their families.
Yeah, people forget about that.
And their friends. And, you know, those earlier wars that we're talking about, World War I and Vietnam, the PTSD and all that and war trauma was not an issue. We didn't know about it, and it's phenomenal. Even for our military personnel that don't serve, you know, there's PTSD that's involved with that. There's even guilt for that. They're serving on time of not going to war. I have a dear friend, Ryan Davis, who's a Marine. And every day he's guilty that when he served there was no conflicts, and man, I'm telling you, it's like, buddy, you know, please don't do that. And you know, and this goes for first responders too. Yeah. American Warfighter is about you know, paying tribute to our service women and men, their families, their friends, and the first responders, because it's important that the rest of the world understands you know, the weight that is on their shoulders.
I think one of the best compliments that you can get as a writer, and you directed this too, right? As well, and you starred in it as well. I mean, that's triple hat, baby. I mean, did you finance it too?
A good portion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got the whole shebang, man. Everything falls on your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
So it really must feel great when you're at an event and you're showing this film, because you showed it privately to a lot of different veteran organizations and a lot of different heroes. You were out there on the circuit showing it in many different states. And tell me about how that felt when these veterans, after they saw this film, would stand up and talk. How did that feel, man?
Wow, yeah.
I was at one of them, remember?
Yes. It's very powerful. The one that you were at, I believe that a gentleman, I believe he might have been World War II or Vietnam. I'm not sure which one it was. He stood. He came in a wheelchair that was next to his chair, and he was sitting in the chair, not the wheelchair, when he came up to speak. And it took him 30 seconds or so to get out of his chair and lift himself up to take the microphone and speak and share his story. You
I remember that.
That still it brings like tears to my soul, and the best and most gosh, I don't always know what to say, but I remember how it makes me feel. And for him to stand up and to applaud us as filmmakers and telling, our story, but how much it impacts him, and he thanks us for, to bringing this awareness out to the public and the rest of the world. That's, and
there's no falsehood here, because this guy served. He actually was in combat. A lot of these veterans that come and see your private screenings, and of course your screenings now that are taking effect across the nation. But when you first got it out there in distribution and started hustling this film out to these specific groups, when a man like that or a woman like that stands up after they see your film, and it affects them and brings them back to the memory of either they're still struggling through or have somehow compartmentalized it and put it somewhere and dealt with it. But your film is so true. That's what I'm saying. It's so true that it affects people that were actually in that situation. That says a lot.
Yes, I agree. Well,
how does that make you feel as a filmmaker?
If we did something right, because it's a lot of work to push through an entire production, getting a production off the ground and finishing it, bring it to fruition, and then getting it to the screen, and to have an audience of more than just like your immediate friends and family, but being able to show to the public is quite
warriors and heroes.
It's so humbling to be able to achieve that.
Yeah.
And I do want to say it's also equally important. This is not American Warfighter is not just an action war film. It's not that. It's about family, brotherhood, and sacrifice. I do want to say it's not promoting war or anything like that, but to protect, to protect people. What I'm trying to get at is one of my friends. He's anti-war. He doesn't like anything, he's not like really pro-military, stuff like that. But when he saw Warfighter, he says, Jerry, he puts a hand on my shoulder, said, Jerry, and he was like, he explained what I just did. He said, I'm not, for war and all this, but he said, it gives me an understanding of what happens to our military that go out there and the pressures and the struggles they have to deal with. And he says, it's opened up my eyes in a whole new way I didn't expect coming away. I just came to see this film because I respect you and want to support you, but I've walked away with something that I will have for the rest of my life.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that's what a film is all about. That's what this art form is supposed to do. It's supposed to move people to understand something that they perhaps don't quite understand fully. We're going to play the trailer right now. This is the new trailer that you're using. Can you set this up a little bit?
Yeah, so... gosh, we went through so many different trailers, different versions, because like there's an artistic point of view from a director putting a trailer out, but then when you're dealing with distribution and stuff like that, they're also wanting to, they want to sell a story one way or the other. So this one is, I guess, a very patriotic version of the Of the trailer.
Okay, let's hit it.
You tell me.
American Warfighter, Jared Angelo.
When you're out there, you're not really thinking about back home. We had a job to do, so just do our job.
ETA. Seconds.
Go! Go! Run!
Listen to me, okay? Honey, you're just having a dream.
You saw it from last night?
Yep. Bad moment.
You've been having a lot of those lately. I think you need to see a professional.
4 of our Delta operatives went dark after they crossed into Iranian territory.
It's imperative that we get eyes on the ground down there immediately.
So when you pass over that border, you are on your own.
No air assets.
Your objective is special reconnaissance.
This is not a search and rescue mission.
Clear this. Clear this.
I'm gonna do my 9 to 5. Come home, you guys.
I'm coming back. I'm not gonna miss this.
But what if something happens that you can't control?
Change of plans. We're on the fly.
We have PID on one of our Delta operators. We are shifting to rescue.
Said the good witch of the north.
Engage targets.
So Dorothy closed her eyes and tapped the heels together.
3.
There is no place like home.
2.
There is no place like home.
1.
There is no place like home.
One is not, 2 is 1. I had you back then, I got you back now.
What are we running from?
Not we. You.
Who's got your back?
You've got my back.
Nothing has changed.
Man, that's powerful. The subtext that's running under your character is really, really interesting. Tell me a little bit about that. Because there's a couple layers, not just the fighter and the family man, but there's a whole psychological thing going on with you in this film.
Sure. Oh gosh, well, there's so many different ways to approach it. Now, each person or individual actor would can however they choose to portray it. I just wanted to be just a blank slate and just go with kind of projecting a normal everyday person that is a husband when they need to be a husband. It's a father when they're a father, and then of course when they're working, they're whatever title they are and working with their brothers or sisters, in this case being a special forces team member. So no, it's just, you have friends that are in the military. They're everyday average people. And, when they do things that we call them heroes, and they are, and they don't see themselves as heroes. It's just their job. So, it's just trying to make it something very real.
Did you have to do a lot of training for the more athletic aspects of this film in terms of the stunts and running around the desert? I assume you shot that somewhere in Nevada, Arizona, or something. I'm assuming.
Well, we shot American Warfighter in 3 different states: New Mexico, California, and Nevada. Okay. And to answer your question, I'm just athletically inclined. It's something I've always kind of been. So it wasn't a far stretch to be able to to run and all that. But when you're putting on the gear, and it's I'm sure our gear was fake. I mean, it was real, but it wasn't loaded down with like real bullets and weapons. Yeah,
you weren't loaded down with all the weight.
And and we are out there in 100-degree weather. So I know we had a very and just creating pretend situation, and acting real in a pretend situation is one thing. Right. So it was fun. You get to get bruised up a little bit, hitting the ground and all that. Sure. But what our no mistake, what our military go through on every single day is phenomenal, and they deserve the utmost admiration and support from all of us.
Yeah, one of the takeaways when you see American Warfighter, where can the folks see this now? Because I know you've got fresh new distribution happening.
Oh, this is wonderful. Yeah, and so it's opening. It's
funny. Let me interrupt you. It's funny. You've been working on this project for how many years?
It's been a couple
from the get-go.
Yeah, and you know what? it's interesting. You change when you put something together. Warfighter is what Warfighter is, and it develops and matures into what it becomes. In the process, as an individual, that happens to you as well in your life. People come and they go, and it's there's all these different emotions that come throughout the entire journey.
Right.
And American Warfighter journey continues on in one direction, and it's and then it's my life and time to continue on to a different direction.
Right, you're an actor. I mean, you're a writer, director. You're doing other things. I mean, you went to New York, for God's sakes. We lost you here on the West Coast for darn near a year.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What a crazy experience that is. But we'll get to that one because New York's a lot different than L.A. That's for sure.
Yes, it is.
But the new distribution that I wanted to touch on that. Where can people get this other than all the online platforms? Talk about that too.
Yes. So right now on Friday, it opens up in limited markets across the United States. I know there's like about 15 different major cities that it's opening up in. That's so
sweet. That's really, so friggin' exciting.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
I don't even know.
This is your baby, man.
Yes.
It's opening up across the nation now.
It's a.
How cool is that?
I said it's humbling. It's as exciting as it is. It's just like a breath of fresh air, knowing that you stuck something out. And regardless of the obstacles and challenges and everything that has come, that has hit you, you've overcame all these things, and now here you are, and now your movie is showing alongside of Marvel films,
right,
and stuff like that. So it's wonderful.
See it on the marquee, man. Theater 7, Theater 3,
and
right?
I think for each filmmaker that gets to experience this, just sit down in your own movie and have some butter popcorn.
Dude, I would be up there in the middle. This is my film. I did it. God, I don't know how you can hold yourself back because it's a good picture.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing that you could do better in this picture, in my opinion, than what you guys put together. So is it limited? Is part of that limited theater release here in Southern California somewhere?
Yes, it's actually playing in Riverside at the Galaxy 18, some theater, AMC theater down there.
Okay.
And then also, and then it's going to also start release across all the platforms. Over 100 million audience available to them through iTunes and Amazon first, and then it goes on to all the other the streaming VODs.
Oh, don't you love distribution?
Dude,
oh yeah.
And then it's going like onto the DVD,
Blu-rays.
And
Walmart, man. I'm gonna walk by and see your mug at Walmart.
My family in Germany and Switzerland, they're gonna be able to see it.
Wow.
My friends and family in Mexico and across in Russia. I mean, it's getting international play as well. This comes later on. As a major studio project, their films are able. They have the workflow, and the structure to be able to open up entire
3,000 theaters,
entire world, the same day, everything going.
Yeah, but those films are usually only out for 2 weeks, and they're hitting distribution on all the other platforms because they make their money right in the beginning. That nothing lasts 6, 8, 10 weeks like it did 30 years ago. Very few films last like that. So I mean, you're right there with them. It's sometimes better to grow small in distribution because you can build.
Well, I joined film because I want to be part of the story, and it's a trophy that is dear to my heart, and that I get to place onto my shelf in a sense, and just know that this I'm connected to this.
Maybe there's a American Warfighter II.
Yes, there is actually. And it's already.
Okay. So I need to beg you for a job.
You don't have to beg me at all.
Come on, please.
I know. I don't.
Let me be a good guy or bad guy. You can kill me.
You want to do acting?
Oh yeah, man. Come on. Yeah, I can act. Do you like that? It was pretty good, huh?
Well, a good director, and someone who's
I can act
excited.
up. I can act up. Maybe not act, but no, I can act and act up at the same time. Yeah. Well, okay. I'll be the comedy relief.
Well, we have a comedy coming up too. So
oh, gee, thanks. That's all I need to do.
Throw Jesse in there.
Yes, that's the Jesse T. Hey, the Jesse T Show with Jerry G. Angelo here, talking about American Warfighter. American Warfighter 2 is coming up. Got to go see this. It's on all the platforms. Look for it. Just Google search it and go down to Riverside to the Galaxy 18. Yeah, man. That's a nice family outing this weekend. This is really a good film, guys. All goofiness aside, it's got a great storyline. You'll never, ever, ever be able to guess the ending. You'll never be able to guess the twist. For you people that like to figure out the twist of a movie at the end, the conclusion, the last 5-7 minutes, you'll never, ever figure this one out. I dare you to try and come up with the solution at the end of this film. You'll never do it. I swear to God. Caught me totally by surprise.
It's never been done in that,
that
way. Yeah,
I know. It's fantastic. Can I tell them about it?
Come on. Yeah, you can tell them about it.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want to say the whole thing, or just
yeah,
like
scene by scene, play by play?
Oh,
no,
maybe
no,
not,
no, I don't.
Okay.
No. I want them to go see it for themselves. That's right. No, you got to check it out, American Warfighter. So, you move to New York. After you do this run across the nation, showing this to VFW halls, different hospital, military personnel, police personnel, fire personnel. And you go across the nation, and then now you disappear and you go to New York. What was all that about, man? He goes to New York, and he's acting like a New York actor, man. He's got the long coat on. He's starting to look like New Yorkish, right? And I'm saying, wait a minute, what's he doing in New York? What were you in New York for? What was going on?
Well, one of the reasons is to just step away into a new area.
Right.
New York is somewhere that I hadn't been, and at that point in my life, everything that was kind of presenting itself or opening up, and at least for everything that I believed in, I thought New York was a very good choice to go to,
right.
And to set up shop and see look at what.
Well, you did some good things while you were there.
I did. Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean, you came on the scene pretty hardcore, man.
Man, you do a lot of walking when you're out there. Oh my God. I think I remember one of the first days I ran right into the Empire State Building. I wasn't looking for it, and I saw all these people looking up, and I'm thinking like, you're walking because all the buildings are high. You never look up. I look up, and I'm like, oh my Lord, that's the Empire State Building. So I'm going off to an audition, I believe, or a meeting with one of my buddies, and then I get to my buddy, and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? I just saw the Empire State Building in the other block. He's like, oh yeah, and he's like, by the way, and I had pigeon.
Oh yes,
had
pigeon crap
pooped on me.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it did.
Right,
but that's common there too.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's why a lot of people wear hats and umbrellas for that reason. Even in the summertime for shade because it's humid too. But they, who lives in the high skyscrapers besides people? Birds.
And it's interesting to examine New York from a filmmaker's perspective.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, just the way of life. I met I have some incredible friends that I made there.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, he's on Broadway, and his name is Clifton Samuels, an incredible talent. He just had a baby and his wife, and I just want to congratulate them.
Right on, man.
And I missed
your battles of life are just starting. Woo!
So what I gather is that New York is so fast paced is because that for the most part everyone is not in their automobiles, and the second that you leave your front door, you are traveling on foot generally to
get somewhere
to the train your side of the train to this train station.
Right.
Then you're waiting for a period of time. Then you're getting on the train, which is another experience. And you're however long that takes. If you have to change trains,
right.
There's other steps in there. Then you get to your destination. Now you're walking from the train to your destination, which could be up to like a mile or mile and a half or whatever. And then, so there's that experience.
Man.
Then you get to your location, and then you have your meeting, your audition, or your dinner or whatever.
Right.
And then it's, are you going to go all the way back home? Or are you going to stay out and take care of other chores or anything you have to do?
Right.
And if you do, then now you're back to going back onto the train, going to Best Buy, getting
it's
off.
a whole different way of living, isn't it?
You meet so many people.
That's the thing.
It's phenomenal. And
all kinds of people.
I do want to say that I thought, I only had Los Angeles to
measure from.
Yes. And I thought people here were crazy,
Yeah. Well, they're crazy in a kind of weird, different way, but New York
was, I think, takes the cake. And the talent that's there. You have people that are they're homeless. There's a great homeless community. I wish we could even talk about that with the military.
Sure.
But and they're in the rail stations, and they're singing, and they're playing their instruments, and they are phenomenal. And there's no difference in talent separating
some
them
of these people are
from
classically
the best.
trained from Juilliard or from New York University or Metropolitan Opera House. I mean, and they're playing in the subways, man.
Yes.
You know? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy. The talent is there. It's crazy. And there's really only one place where that talent gets showed off, and that's on and off Broadway. They do have a film business in New York, yes, but not like Atlanta or Los Angeles or Hollywood. But there's a lot of different type of artistic work. There's a lot of art, a lot of galleries, dancing, singing, lots of singing. These are prerequisites, just not the acting aspect. Did you get a chance to audition for any Broadway plays or anything?
No,
you were there?
I did not. I'm not unfortunately, I'm not a singer or dancer. I wish I was.
Right.
People would probably run the other direction.
Yeah, me too.
But I did get to go see Anastasia.
You did?
And that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I got to go backstage and get to meet the cast.
Hang out, yeah.
And I did, I want to say that, I want to say I saw something else, but I can't think off the top of my head, but no.
What brought you back to L.A.?
Well, I had some opportunities that were popping up, and I was declining. Some smaller little things, and I was like, okay, I never turned down a job before,
right.
So I was like, okay, I'll just let those slide, and just more things were kind of pulling me back to Los
sure.
Angeles. I did want to, at the end of the day, it was meant for me to come back to Los Angeles.
Right.
I didn't. Yeah.
Well, you come back to Los Angeles and you get a gift. New distribution for American Warfighter. Yeah. How cool is that?
It was, I think in God's plan for me, it was necessary to go to New York for the time that I did and meet some of the individuals that I did. And now
right.
I'm that much more rich. My mom came from Switzerland when she was 23.
My daughter played at on the Swiss national team.
Really?
As a goalkeeper. Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, she's a national goalkeeper for the country of Chile, and she's going to the World Cup in France.
Huh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She's top drawer.
Well, that's awesome.
Goalie. Yeah. She was just in Holland and Amsterdam and Spain and Scotland playing some friendlies the last 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Wow. Well, my family, especially my mom's side, big soccer fans.
Oh yeah.
Soccer
football.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Football.
Yes, you
yeah.
Yep, football.
So the World Cup's coming in 2019 here in June. She'll be there. But yeah, so Switzerland.
Anyway,
yeah.
I was just going to finish the story. Is that I always wanted to go to New York and spend real time there because my mom came, and that's where she first got, when she came to the United States, that's where she stayed, and she loved New York.
Yeah,
she fell in love with Los Angeles, of course. So that's being born out here. But that's I get to share that with my mom now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You speak Swiss?
Schweizerdeutsch.
You do?
Ein bisschen, ja.
Yeah, a little bit. And you speak some German too.
Das ist richtig.
Yeah.
It comes back. I couldn't. Yeah, I could.
If you were there, you would pick it up.
Yes, it's one of those things. It's like kind of riding a bike. I'm not fluent by any means, but I do understand it, and it does. It comes back to you, but it's been a while.
I speak another language.
What do you speak?
I speak Los Angelino language.
Yes.
It's Los Angelino sign language.
I think you speak Jesse T language too.
Yes.
It's a whole personality.
It is, yes. And part of that is I speak to people who can't hear me, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have to use my hands. So I have a whole cadre of hand signals like and all kinds of stuff, right?
Yes. That's good.
So you like that?
You can,
maybe I could, that's my audition. Didn't you know that? This is my audition for you. Okay? Mm-hmm. God, I tell you. Absolutely. American Warfighter, man, great movie covering the very, very important topic of PTSD, homelessness with our veterans. But, a lot of veterans are becoming people that have homes now. There's been a big push in the last couple of years to get a lot of the homeless veterans off the streets around the nation. And those statistics are changing. A big portion of your veterans that were homeless are now getting into the proper programs and restarting their lives. But there still is a contingent of them out there. Most of the people that are homeless aren't veterans. There are more veterans that are working hard, raising their families, dealing with their situations, succeeding in life, taking those skills that they learned and implementing them in their lives in a positive way for themselves and family and society. So, in that respect, I don't ever want anybody to think that just because you served in the military and you may have some challenges when you come home that you're automatically going to be a homeless veteran. No, that's not true. There's a lot of other things that make somebody homeless besides just PTSD. It doesn't add to it, but there's all kinds of things that add to somebody being homeless. Sure. Unfortunately,
it's a vast topic, and I don't know a whole bunch about it, so I'm not
right.
Gosh, I do know from people that I've spoken with that are in military, just life can happen, and it just does. And when you're devoted to your country and to the military, and you're set up in their system, and then things aren't working out for whatever reasons, and then you don't have that support, it makes it very difficult. And so I've heard some stories and just people that I just wish I could do so much more for.
Hey, you're doing a lot, man. I really appreciate you, and I know a lot of guys out there. The one event I went to, all those men and women that were there were very, very appreciative of your efforts. They really were, and that was very moving in so many ways, on so many different layers and levels. It was just terrific. American Warfighter, Jerry G. Angelo, writer, director, actor, producer. We're going to play this trailer again. This is the new trailer. It's out in the movie houses across the nation, selected places. You can see it at Riverside Galaxy 18, soon to go online, and other places that it will be released to as well.
And you can pre-order it now, too, which would be very helpful for us.
Okay, how do they do that?
Well, I sent a link to you
right.
guys, so you can. It's
I'll load it up
on iTunes. If you were to just do American Warfighter, it'll pop up on iTunes, and if you can pre-order, that'd be wonderful.
Great.
And then you have it, and then of course, if you however you feel towards the film, if there's you can go on Rotten Tomatoes and leave reviews
right.
on all the different platforms, and anything. Obviously, anything that is positive helps us. And hopefully you do enjoy the film, and it touches you in the way that I would like the film to do.
Let's hit that trailer again, Lee.
When you're out there, you're not really thinking about back home. We had a job to do, so just do our job.
ETA.
Seconds.
Go! Go! Run!
Listen to me, okay? Honey, you're just having a dream.
You solid from last night?
Yep. Bad moment.
You've been having a lot of those lately. I think you need to see a professional.
4 of our Delta operatives went dark after they crossed into Iranian territory.
It's imperative that we get eyes on the ground down there immediately.
Soon you pass over that border, you are on your own.
No air assets.
Your objective is special reconnaissance.
This is not a search and rescue mission.
Clear this. Clear this.
I'm gonna do my 9 to 5. Come home, you guys.
I'm coming back. I'm not gonna miss this.
But what if something happens that you can't control?
Change of plans. You're on the fly.
We have PID on one of our Delta operators. We are shifting to rescue.
Said the good witch of the north.
Engage targets.
So Dorothy closed her eyes and tapped the heels together.
3.
There is no place like home.
2.
There is no place like home.
1.
There is no place like home.
One is not, 2 is 1. I had you back then, I got you back now.
What are we running from?
Not we. You.
Who's got your back?
You've got my back.
Nothing has changed.
American Warfighter here on the Jesse T Show. That's right. Every day here we're on the air and everywhere, 5 o'clock. And In studio with me is my special guest, writer, director, producer, actor of American Warfighter, Jerry G. Angelo. Good job, pal. Good job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, while we were watching the clip, he and I were both trying to figure out Ryan Reynolds, a Marvel character movie.
Don't embarrass me.
No, and it's not Daredevil. Is it Daredevil? I forget all the time. It's the one that he can't get hurt in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's something with a D. Isn't it something with a D?
If somebody can help me with the name of the Ryan Reynolds movie, I'd appreciate that. And watch, Ryan Reynolds will probably call in and lambaste me now.
Oh, boy.
I've had a chance to interview him, so I should know his movie.
Yes. Well, you know, it's just,
it's one of those things, man. What can I tell you?
It's a great franchise.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
All right. Well, hey, what the hell, right? That movie where he never gets killed, and he can turn his head around, and he can suck up a lot of bullets, yeah, okay. The reason why I bring it up, because there's a couple of actors in your cast here. You have a great cast. Let's talk about your cast a little bit, because you put together a phenomenal cast.
Awesome. I love that.
You really did.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how you got all these guys to work for you, because I know this wasn't a $50 million budget movie.
Sure. No. Well, most of the people I knew, I'd say, I get the good portion of the cast I knew personally, and I already kind of could see them in the roles.
Right.
And the few people that I did not necessarily know that I reached out to, you know, they either, when people want to help you, they either believe in you or they believe in the project, or both. And so we were able to, I was able to get the cast that I wanted.
Talk about some of the actors in the cast. Saeed, and talk about,
sure.
You know.
Well, I'll go ahead and let me. We'll talk with Saeed Faraj. Saeed is a good friend of mine, and he plays one of the, what the position is. Well, he's
second informant. He's like a special secret agent guy who understands where you're going, because he that's where he's from.
Yeah, well, he's in charge of setting up the mission for the SEALs,
right?
And Saeed played opposite of Matt Damon in Green Zone, and I met Saeed on 2 other projects that I worked as an actor with him alongside. So that's how our friendship became. And when this role popped up, I said, you know, Saeed, this is your role. I'd like you to, I'd like to cast you in this role.
Saeed's great. I know him. He's just terrific. And he's a guy that's been working his craft for a number of years.
Yes, he's
everything that's happening for him now
well-deserved.
is well-deserved. Yep. And he always brings not just a stereotype, because he is of Middle Eastern descent, but not just the stereotypical kind of acting that you would expect that character, that look to be. He always has an element to his acting that's deeper. You know, there's like something else going on, and that's a sign of a really good actor.
Well, what's nice about the cast is that, you know, these are all individuals. Also, everyone is their own human being, and they all have different careers. And with Warfighter, not because, you know, separate from Warfighter as individuals, but then because of Warfighter, how it's helped their careers. Like Ryan Bauman, the little blonde-headed girl that is in my film. Because of Warfighter, she got picked up by one of the top management companies in Los Angeles. Wow. And from there, she just completed a film with Michael Mann and Ryan Reynolds, actually, that is one of the highest, you know, I don't know.
He's blocked with Deadpool.
There you go, Deadpool. Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes, Deadpool.
I was gonna.
Yes.
So Deadpool. Yeah. Anyway, so Ryan Bauman is it's Underground 6 Underground or Underground 6.
Yeah.
And then what else? You know, and she's she plays a role in the fantasy, in the PTS Nightmares.
Right.
She comes in and she's such a specific character.
Yeah.
And what's wonderful, who also plays her as her older self is Hannah Strategos. And the incredible story about Hannah, I'm very dear friends with Paul and Jamie, her mother and father, and of course her family. But Hannah, when she was about 4 years old, she had a brain tumor in her frontal left lobe.
That's right. I forgot about her. Right.
She wasn't supposed to live. She's a miracle. They had to take out quite a big chunk, and Hannah is now, you know, she's 16 years old now, and because of Hannah, we chose to have the premiere of American Warfighter in Tehachapi. It was called Warfighter at the time, but now is in Tehachapi.
Big outpouring,
and man, we had both theaters sold out, and Hannah got to walk the red carpet, she was so happy, and I got just phenomenal. And she loves cows, and so we got her some cows. Yeah, anything that's a cow, a stuffed animal, or
isn't that interesting? We talked about cows in the beginning of the show.
Yes, we did in a different sense.
Yes, yeah.
So yes,
but she's gonna have to get rid of her cows.
No, she doesn't.
She has to, because they fart. And according to AOC, we're all gonna die in 12 years.
I don't know,
because of farting cows.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
that's all right. That was my political twist for today.
I did want to say real quick too is Isaac Singleton Jr. is in Deadpool. Yeah, and he is in our cast as well. He's one of our lead SEALs. Right. We also have Josh Santana.
He was good in this movie.
He's awesome. He's the one that plays my brother.
Right.
And he's a pastor, and he attends and is a pastor at the Mosaic Church. Yeah. And in the movie he plays he's a Christian Navy SEAL in there, which is important. Important to the storyline.
And the commander of your group, he was in this. He's terrific too.
Yeah, Paul Logan.
Paul Logan, yeah, man. That guy's been around forever. I've seen him in so many things.
He's a beast.
He's
built solid.
Yeah, well, like you, man. You're built solid too, huh? What's coming up, man? What's happening for you? Let's talk about a little bit about the future. Sure. What's going on? Because we're getting close to the end of the show. So, what's cooking?
Well, there's a lot of things that I can't disclose. That I would like to, but what I will say is we have another film that's coming out in theaters in September for October release of Friday the 13th.
Oh, you got a sci-fi kind of, a haunted film, huh?
Well, it's a horror film. It's an action thriller hybrid, and it's by a writer-director, Tom Bocci. Okay. And what's wonderful about this story is that because of the Warfighter trailer reaching out to so many, we've reached over to 5.5 million with our first trailer. Wow. This is on a grassroots campaign. Yeah. Tom saw the trailer Warfighter and contacted me, and we started talking, and he was interested in me playing the lead in his movie Arctic. Nice. This action thriller hybrid. If you're familiar with Silence of the Lambs, the creepy serial killer guy, or that kind of vibe. So that's what Arctic is, and you completely, I play a
creepy serial guy,
a comic book obsessed serial killer who collides with a straight edge welder over the fate of a young boy, and we've got nice. That's going to actually have a bigger theatrical release than we. And it will also, we'll be playing around the world.
I'm telling you, I'm going to sell you a house pretty soon.
Please do.
No, you just got a couple more good gigs, man. Kind of bankroll some of that, and then we're going to go out shopping around. Yeah, we're going to go out in my Black Demon.
Your 5.0?
Yeah, no. It's called the Black Demon.
What is the Black Demon?
I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I put you in the Gray Ghost or the White Buttercup.
I don't know what these are.
These are I name my cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all named something. Yeah, so maybe the Golden Dream. Something like that.
I'll let you decide.
Okay.
You just tell me how you want me to dress, and we'll go.
Hey, all right. Jerry Angelo, everybody. How do they get in touch with you, man? How do the fans find you, real quick?
Well, Facebook is a good place, and we'll be putting up the website pretty soon with American Warfighter. It'll be up within this next week, I imagine, too. So.
Very cool, man. Check out the trailer. You can podcast it now.
And iTunes would be
good.
And
absolutely on iTunes. Yeah. Check out the film. And get it, watch it, go down to Riverside, have a good time with it, and let us know what you think about the message, and get involved with helping a veteran. Just to help somebody make their life a little bit better. That's all you got to do. Sometimes it's not that much. It's just a little bit of love. That's all it is, man. Hey, it's the Jesse T Show with you, Jerry. Wait a minute, that's the wrong Jerry. Jerry D'Angelo, everybody. Woo! I'll take a job. I will. $25 an hour.